the history of allergy elimination, for me and for most of the people practicing it in the West, came from a Dr. Devi Nambudripad, who was from India and a student of chiropractic. And she said that she was allergic to everything she ate except rice and broccoli. And so she was obviously interested in finding a solution to allergies. And she looked into acupuncture as a method of treating allergies, and what she found was that accidentally she fell asleep while doing an acupuncture treatment on herself while she was holding a bag of carrots. Now, carrots wasn't one of the foods that she was not allergic to, but she ate carrots anyway because she loved them, and she just put up with the digestive distress or the gas or the whatever the problems were that she developed as a result of them. And she was a mono food eater, so when she ate carrots, that's what she ate, just carrots. And anyway, she noticed that the next time she had carrots, after that incident, that she didn't have a bad reaction. And she was like, wow, I wonder if that had something to do with the fact that I was holding the carrots while the treatment was going on. So she repeated it and did it for something else, like a grain or something, I think, like wheat. And she found that she could eliminate allergies by focusing the immune system on that allergy during a specific treatment. You see, in the past, acupuncture has been used for treating allergies, and what it does is an allergy is like a certain level of water in a barrel, and at some point they get help with certain treatments, like antihistamines, and it drops way down, but it's temporary because your body keeps producing antihistamines, so it goes back up. But acupuncture typically would lower the level a little bit at a time across the board with everything, with allergies to dust, with allergies to mold, with allergies to milk, with allergies to whatever. They would all get lowered a little bit. But what this technique does is it allows the immune system of the body to focus in and key in on one specific issue that it then resolves. It's like fixing a glitch in software. So it's a very, very powerful model. And now I'd like to go back to that example of the narcolepsy. And it's a long rabbit trail road to get there, but we'll get there. This Dr. Nambudripad's technique is called NAET. It stands for Nambudripad's Allergy Elimination Technique. And thousands of people have been trained in that technique, and it does work. There are some difficulties with it, however. Dr. Nambudripad's book was called Say Goodbye to Illness. And in it, she makes that audacious claim that I made a while ago, that all disease has at its root some type of allergic response. And I believe she's absolutely correct about that. And that's a landmark information in healing the human body, I believe. And so one of the people who supported her work and who wrote books about it, her name is Dr. Ellen Cutler, developed a technique called BioSet. And BioSet stands for bioenergetic sensitivity and enzyme therapy. because Dr. Cutler varied from Dr. Nambudripad in two main ways. One, she believed that the digestive system is essential for any type of repair of the body, and so enzymes is one of the key, most important factors that should be focused upon in the normalization of any disease process. And I believe she's right about that as well. And so she wrote many books about Nambudripad's technique, including hers was the Win the War series, winning the war against allergies, winning the war against asthma, winning the war against autoimmune disease. She didn't write a book winning the war against narcolepsy, but she could have. And she went to Dr. Nambudripad, and I'm characterizing this as a story that theoretically happened. But it gives some background as far as the development of this type of work. And said, you know, I've observed that a small percentage of the people who get the technique in NAET, in about 6 months, they begin reacquiring the allergies that they had eliminated. And what I've found is that every one of those people will test allergic to their own blood. Well, being allergic to your blood isn't a concept that the medical community can wrap its mind around. But it's the reality. And people say, well, how can you be allergic to your own blood? And the fact is, on a personal note, that type of argument kept me away from this type of work for quite a while. When I was in chiropractic college, I learned of this work eliminating allergies, and allergies like to vitamin C. And I was like, how can somebody be allergic to vitamin C? I mean, it doesn't even make sense, you know? And it took me years to figure out that's why it's called disease, David. You know, it's not a normal, healthy response that's going on. And so I found that, yeah, people can be allergic to vitamin C. People can be allergic to water. I've had people who were allergic to water in my over 35 years of practice and experience with this. About a handful of them. And those are sick people because their tissues are dehydrated, because their tissues don't want to receive the water. Well, how can that happen, you say? Well, it's kind of like, you know, you've got a friend who comes and visits and he's kind of an annoyance, but you accept it anyway. Well, then he starts bringing his friend. And it's like, wait a second, we don't want your friends, and we don't want you either right now, okay? It's like, maybe you can come back later, but not right now, all right? So that's what the body does if the water is delivering stuff that the body doesn't want, or if the blood is delivering stuff that the body really doesn't want. It can create an allergy to those things as well. So what if we could just eliminate those allergies by focusing on them one at a time and doing some capping techniques? Well, the fact is we can. And that makes us responsible for every disease process that we have going on in our bodies, because I can do something about it myself. So we're autonomous from medical authorities who, you know, want to impose their vaccines and their whatever, you know. All of this stuff is from what my family referred to as revenuers. People who want revenue, they want money from you. That's what it's all about, is what it boils down to. Get off our mountain, you frickin' revenuers. It's like, you know, yeah, we're running a still. We've been doing that for, you know, generations. There's no problem with that either. But anyway, I'm not in support of revenuers. So let me move on to how to actually do the technique. Or better yet, to explain the background more. That once we accept that we can be allergic to our own blood, and we can treat that. Thank you. And we can be allergic to any of our different organs. We can be allergic to our own skin. That's what eczema and psoriasis and things like that involves. It involves other things as well, but one of the things it involves is an allergy to one's own skin. So you can do a tapping technique and say the phrase that you say before you do the technique, and at the end of a 3-minute procedure, eliminate 80% of that allergic reaction and that allergic response. Do it again, and you eliminate 80% of the remaining 20%. Do it again, and you eliminate 80% of the remaining amount. So you do it a few times and the thing's gone for most things. Now I will tell you that the way this type of work goes, it isn't always that way. The critical issue in a person, for example, I had a patient in Kansas City who was a colon therapist who was suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome. And she was allergic to silicone. And when I treated her for an allergy to silicone, it didn't do anything. And I treated her for an allergy for silicone again, and it didn't do anything. And I treated her for silicone again, and it didn't do anything. It took 6 sessions for there to be any change at all. And then she said it was like somebody pulled up the curtain and her life changed, and she got her energy back, she got her perception of colors back, she got her life back. And so it isn't always a 1, 2, or 3 time magical miracle cure. And there are 2 main reasons, by the way, that EFT won't work, whether it's in this process or in other processes that you use it for, like phobias, and it's excellent for phobias. One of the reasons is if you don't hit the right point. And tapping this point instead of the K27 point, you're not tapping the point. And if that happens to be where it's blocked, you're not going to release it. So tapping the right point, I think, is very important in the process. And the second thing is, it doesn't work if you don't do it. Pretty simple. People say, oh yeah, I forgot I could do that. And it's like, well, pretty simple, and if it has a significant enough impact on your life, by getting rid of your migraines or whatever, you'll remember to do it related to other things in your life. So Dr. Cutler's version of treating based on priorities was different from the priorities as developed by Dr. Nambudripad. Dr. Nambudripad approached it from the point of view that the most common allergies are the ones that we should look for and treat first. So she had what she called the top 10. And then after you've cleared the top 10, you clear the top 40. And then after the top 40, the top 360, or whatever it happens to be. And Dr. Cutler's approach was, I believe, much more scientific in the sense that she said the first thing is to eliminate people's allergies to stuff within their own body. So the first treatment for eliminating allergies with somebody is blood. If somebody's allergic to their own blood, they're sick. If somebody's allergic to water, they're sick. So people can be allergic to blood, any of their organs, any of their glands, any of their enzymes, whether created inside the body or brought in from the outside, any of those we can have allergies to. We can have allergies to hormones that are made inside of our own body, and we develop those when we're given hormones that are artificial from outside the body that throws the hormone balance way off and creates allergy responses for certain of the hormones. So the image that I like for hormone balance in the human body with 87 different hormones is that of the champagne glass fountain. And it only works as long as the table is level. If you put a book under one of the legs, all of a sudden that fountain's way fucked up. Well, that's the way it is with hormones. And so fucking up some woman's hormones by putting her on a birth control pill or giving her estrogen or things like that is really dangerous. This technique allows the body to overcome the allergies to those hormones so that their body will produce those hormones at the normal rate that it's supposed to. The reason it's shutting down production and doesn't want it is because it has an allergic response to it. We clear the allergy and all of a sudden that glass gets full. And as you gradually level the table, all of the hormones, all of the 87 different hormones can go back into balance again. And so how many of these sessions do you need to do to get through the hormones? Well, it depends on the person, just like everything else. Some people might not have any issue with it whatsoever. And somebody else might be allergic to all 87 hormones. And now we can talk about the narcolepsy, which involves something called neurotransmitters. What if we could have allergies to the neurotransmitters, which are the chemicals that our brain creates? We certainly wouldn't want to be producing them, but what happens if we force ourselves by doing a certain mental activity to create that particular neurotransmitter that the body has an allergic response for? You just go into overload, you go into shutdown, and that's what happens with narcolepsy, is people just get boom, and they're just out. I had a patient who was 19 years old and wanted to be a priest in my Kansas City practice. And he had narcolepsy, so they wouldn't allow him in the priesthood. After we cleared him, it turned out that he was allergic to 18, I think, of the 28 neurotransmitters that we knew of at that time. There might be more now, I don't know. But he was allergic to a large number of them, more than half for sure. And that treating him actually taught me something about the process. If you treat all of the ones that he's allergic to in the same group, like hormones, together at the same time, the body will clear more than one of them. It'll clear 4 or 5 at the same time. And so you can do like a group like that, and you just keep doing the group until there isn't a response anymore. And so when he got to the point that the allergies to the neurotransmitters was gone, the narcoleptic episode stopped, of course, and they allowed him to be a priest. And he's a priest now. So that's the kind of power and significance that there is to the allergy model of disease.